A man trying to change a tire on the side of the road is hit and killed by a van. How his family is remembering him tonight.
Relief supplies from central Kentucky on the way to Haiti are at the bottom of the ocean tonight after the ship they were on sinks.
You could be paying higher ATM fees compared to years past. What steps you can take to pay less coming up.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. WKYT News starts now with breaking news.
Good afternoon to you. We are tracking a deadly accident in Madison County tonight. Police in Richmond tell us a woman was hit and killed while trying to cross the road.
It happened about 3 o'clock along Berea Road near Kroger. Police say it appears the woman walked right into the path of a vehicle leaving Kroger. Our Monique Blair is in Richmond. She joins us live from the scene. And Monique, have police released any information about the victim yet?
Well, Amber and Sam, right now at this time, police have released very few details about that victim, but they do tell us it was an adult woman who was hit and killed out here. And right now, police are just calling this a terrible accident. This accident happened around 3 o'clock behind the Richmond Kroger off Berea Road. The road moving in the southbound direction was closed for a short time, but right now the scene is completely clear. Police say the victim was walking and stepped in the line of traffic, and that's when a car hit her. She died as a result of her injuries. Now, police say they don't believe at this time that drugs or alcohol was a factor in this crash, and the driver, again, at this time has not been charged. Now, I do expect to talk to police in the next couple minutes, and I will be live out here again at 6 o'clock with all the new details. For now, I'm reporting live in Richmond. Monique Blair, WKYT.
Monique, thank you. And now to our top story tonight. He had pulled over to fix a flat on his trailer, but while he was changing that flat on the side of the road, police say another vehicle hit him.
Michael Vaughn was on his way home near London when a van hit him on a Pulaski County road. His family tells us they don't understand why a young man with a promising future was taken from them. Phil Pendleton has the latest on the investigation in our top story at 5:30.
He had pulled over on Kentucky 914 after his trailer had a flat tire.
He had a blowout on the trailer. He got out to change the tire and was hit by another vehicle.
31-year-old Michael Vaughn died at a Somerset hospital.
I'm numb. I miss him. I depended on him. We lost his father about 3.5 years ago, and he stood up and he took care of me and his little sister, which is 14 now.
Vaughn worked in IT and lived in London. He had only been married to his wife, Jennifer, for about a year.
That's my thought. Why he was so young. He still had a life to live. He hadn't been married that long. He still had his life to make.
Police say they believe the collision was just an accident. They say a 43-year-old woman driving a Mercury van hit him while she was headed north on the 914 bypass.
In speaking with the responding officers, it's my understanding that she failed to see him and actually felt like she had struck his vehicle until she realized that she had actually struck a person.
Vaughn was active in his church where he played guitar for the praise band and taught Sunday school.
His church meant everything. His faith meant everything to him.
His mother says he was the kind of person who was at church or wherever, whenever he was needed. In Laurel County,
I just can't believe he's gone. I depended on him forever.
Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Funeral services for Michael Vaughn have been set for 1 Thursday afternoon at Bowling Funeral Home in London.
New tonight, police in Texas say they are closer to solving the murder case of a UK graduate. Kendra Hatcher was shot and killed last month in Dallas. Over the weekend, Dallas police arrested the man accused of pulling the trigger. But tonight, they're looking for a woman they believe planned the crime. According to an arrest warrant, Brenda Delgado hired Christopher Love to murder Hatcher. Police say that she used an app on her smartphone to track the location of Hatcher's cell phone. Family members say they want justice for Dr. Hatcher.
We've got forward momentum again, so it's good to know that the balls are rolling. I think it was a long month, but now that we're moving forward again, it's a little easier to cope with.
Love has been charged with capital murder. Police have not yet said what they believe the motive is behind the murder, but they do say Delgado dated Hatcher's boyfriend for 2 years before the relationship ended earlier this year.
State police are asking for help as they search for a missing southeastern Kentucky woman. Our county-by-county coverage at 5:30 begins in Knott County. Troopers say Natasha Fugate-Jones was last seen by family on May 7th at her home in Feisty. State police started investigating the case on June 7th. They say they've looked into several tips, but none of them have led to Jones. In Clay County, state police are investigating what caused a deadly ATV crash. That crash happened yesterday afternoon about 5 on Buzzard Hollow Road. Troopers say 49-year-old Benny Mills Jr. of Manchester was driving southbound on the road when he went off the right shoulder and over an embankment. Mills died at the scene. Troopers say he was not wearing a helmet. In Kenton County, police are trying to track down a man accused of breaking into a computer store. Erlanger police say the man broke into 777 computers early Friday morning about 5. This is some surveillance video from the store. Police say the man was wearing a black hoodie with writing on it. He was also wearing a hat, baggy blue jeans, and black shoes.
A beautiful start to the work week as far as the weather. We are seeing some great weather out there, just gorgeous. Looks like it's going to stick around for much of the week. Let's check in with meteorologist Jim Caldwell. Jim?
It is. I mean, it runs all the way through Thursday. I mean, that's a good, including yesterday, a good little 5-day run. But it will change, of course. But we don't want to think about that. We want to think about this. The blue skies that we're seeing out there currently, and those blue skies that will be with us for the majority of the week, with plenty of sunshine to go along with it. Let's break it all down here. A couple of the headlines that we've got. Very nice temperatures out there right now, and it's a run above normal. But, as I mentioned, we've got some changes that will start to approach the area late week. Now, mid and upper 70s, the most common sight you'll see. However, we have a few 80-degree readings that have filtered in, like Frankfurt down to London. So we do have a few spots, and maybe as you drive or you head out and about here during the afternoon and evening, or through the rest of the evening, I should say, you'll see some of those 80s as well in your car thermometer. Our 7-day temperature trend, look at the first part of it. I mean, it's just absolutely wonderful. 76, 77, 79. And then there comes that change that I was hinting at, with that big crash in temperatures with those showers, and thunderstorms will also sweep through the area to cause that big dip going into Friday and beyond. We will track it hour by hour coming up in just a few minutes.
Jim, thank you. It was a successful rescue mission. 12 crew members were saved when the cargo ship they were on sank on its way to Haiti.
Unfortunately, most of the supplies on that ship were lost. And tonight we've learned that some of those supplies were relief items that a Woodford County group was sending to Haiti. New at 5:30, Rebecca Smith is talking to the woman in charge of the group who says she's got to start all over.
A cargo ship that sunk 50 miles off the coast of Haiti was carrying much-needed relief for Haitians. 12 crew members were rescued, but now at the bottom of the ocean, an estimated $2 million worth of cargo. Some were relief supplies.
We work with kids that sleep under trees, that sleep on top of roofs. They have nothing but the clothes on their back.
Diana Owen's missionary organization, Waves of Mercy, had a good amount of supplies on board. A year's worth of food and supplies donated by Waves of Mercy is now gone, like rice and beans, peanut butter, generators, and more than 800 pairs of shoes.
Every day kids come up, bateau Vinny, which means it's a boat here, it's a boat here. Their flip-flops are gone. Nothing's left. They're just coming up with bare feet.
Because Diana runs this one-woman mission out of her home in Versailles, she says resources are pretty scarce, and that's where community help comes in.
Anybody that comes up our steps, we feed.
She hopes anyone who was urged to act 5 years ago in the wake of devastation after the earthquake in Haiti will once again reach out to help.
There's so many people that didn't get help during the earthquake. They came on busloads up to our place.
In Versailles, Rebecca Smith, WKYT.
Well, it's a real shame. We have some information, though, on how you can help out on our website. Just go to WKYT.com.
It has been under construction for almost a year now, and today Governor Beshear and Congressman Hal Rogers made a trip to Magoffin County to see how the Mountain Parkway expansion is coming along. Right now, crews are working on about 7 miles of the Parkway. They tell us the 46-mile expansion project is on schedule, and weather permitting, they hope to have eastbound traffic moved over to the new road by Thanksgiving.
People have talked about 4-laning the Mountain Parkway all the way to Pikeville back so that you can go from Pikeville to Paducah on a 4-lane. We're making it happen. It's actually happening, and when you look out here, you can see the first section of it coming into shape.
Project officials expect the Restaurant Row portion of the Parkway to be under construction next summer.
A new report finds that ATM fees have reached record highs. Here are a couple of steps consumers can take to avoid the higher fees at ATMs. They're designed for convenience, but at ATMs across the country, some consumers are paying a heavy price to get their money.
I mean, no one likes having their own money ripped away from them like that.
A new report from Bankrate.com shows the average out-of-network ATM fee is now $4.52, rates up 21% in the last 5 years.
That's really highway robbery. That's highway robbery.
And the fees vary from city to city. The study found Atlanta, New York, and Phoenix have the highest in the country. Kansas City, Cincinnati, and San Francisco are among the lowest.
It's easier than ever to avoid paying those fees.
Greg McBride from Bankrate.com urges people to use ATMs within their bank's network and recommends joining a bank that reimburses out-of-network charges.
And if you're really in a pinch for cash, you can use your debit card at the point of sale and get cash back. That's tantamount to a free withdrawal.
Banks need fees to maintain the ATMs, but McBride says consumers are getting better at avoiding them.
It's annoying to, to pay the fees, obviously.
And experts expect the fees will continue to go up. Bankrate.com also reports that overdraft fees have set a new record. On average, they are $33.07. It looks like Vice President Joe Biden is leaning toward saying yes to a presidential run.
And Senator Rand Paul addresses the rumors that he could drop out of the race for the White House. Bill Bryant has the details in the bottom line.
Good evening. Kentucky's voter registration books are now closed for the general election, which is less than a month away. Those who qualify had until this afternoon to register to vote. At the top of the ballot this year is the race for governor. The candidates were out and about over the weekend. Republican Matt Bevin, Democrat Jack Conway, and Independent Drew Curtis attended and answered questions at a forum called Operation Turnout at Kentucky State University. WKYT is working with the League of Women Voters to bring you a televised debate live from EKU on October 25th. And I'm conducting interviews with the gubernatorial candidates for WKYT's Kentucky Newsmakers program. It looks like Vice President Joe Biden has his eye on making a decision about whether he's running for the White House this weekend. And Politico reports today that it appears he is leaning toward saying yes. It comes at a time of high visibility for Democratic frontrunner Hillary Clinton. She played a bartender in a skit on Saturday Night Live that gently poked fun at her. And today Clinton called for tightening some gun sales restrictions following several high-profile mass shootings. On the Republican side, Kentucky Senator Rand Paul making it clear he is not giving up his presidential campaign. With polls and fundraising in the basement, some have speculated that Paul might leave the race for the White House to focus on his Senate re-election. But Paul told Fox News he does not need to have that much money to campaign on. And in a shot at frontrunner Donald Trump, Paul predicted that celebrity will ultimately filter out of the race. Absentee voting is beginning in Kentucky. We do not offer an option of early voting in the Commonwealth. A voter has to certify that they can't get to the polls on Election Day in order to vote absentee. Bill Bryant, WKYT.
It is a day set aside to tell those in law enforcement thank you with a cookie.
A sweet treat. Robin Fleischer and Sarah Tripp showed up to the Fayette County Sheriff's Office this afternoon to participate in the national Cookies for a Cop campaign. Dozens of chocolate chip and sugar cookies were passed out to deputies and workers inside Fayette County District Court. The ladies say it's just a simple way to say thank you for your service.
Taking that one time today to just say, we appreciate you and sharing a smile and a cookie. Okay.
And you wouldn't want to leave the canines out, would you? Cookies for a Cop made sure that they got a treat as well.